Welcome to the Savage Productions YouTube channel.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Savage Productions YouTube channel. I look a little ridiculous today because we're doing a lot of cutting on my car. If you didn't see the last video, I'll link it up there. But we are trying to put in a UPR K-Member into my car, and that would usually be a pretty easy task. But my car actually has some decent rust that we repaired on the frame rails in the past, and we need to fix that correctly to where we can actually bolt in a K-Member instead of what we had to do with the stock one, which was welded in. So we started doing a little bit of cutting and forgot to record, so I'm going to start that now. I'm going to show you kind of what our plan is and show you the panels that we bought. So I actually came outside because Dad is in there doing some grinding, but these are the panels that we bought. These are from a manufacturer or some sort of company called Fabrication. I couldn't actually find like their website, but a bunch of people sell these. They're a bunch all over the place on eBay. And this picture that I'm the engine bay, or I'm the engine inside of the engine compartment, and the front of the car is to my right. This goes directly under what would be the brake booster. That's like right here. And those holes are for use for the proportioning valve. I guess one of them is for the little thing that kind of goes inside of the hole to keep it from moving, and then the other is for the bolt. But this is kind of your frame rail. These are really more to support kind of the inside frame rail on the actual strut tower, whereas what we're trying to replace is on this side on top. But all we need is a nice flat plate with these two holes and some of these curves. So what we're going to do is actually twist it over like this and put it in the frame rail. I'll give you a better perspective when I go inside, but wanted to quickly just show you these are what we have to work with. Alright, so Dad's over there. Say hi, Dad. Okay, so here's what we got going on here. This part with the X's, can't have too many X's to know which part you're actually supposed to cut out. This is what we're trying to cut out. And Dad already did this side with the angle grinder, and I'm going to come across here with the larger grinder to get the bottom. But honestly, we might even just do it with that grinder because it seems to be doing a lot cleaner of a job than what I did over there. He doesn't want me to show it. Ain't that right?
Yeah,
a little,
it's all right.
A little crooked.
We gotta fix all that anyway.
Yeah. All right, so what our goal is to have a flat surface like this to be able to line up with these two holes. We're gonna have to patch that big guy in the middle, but these two holes are solid and good. We're gonna have these two holes with this thing lining up here. And like I said, this is supposed to go like this, but on the other side. So here's proportioning valve. It basically, see there's a hole there. That's what that hole is. That would go in there like that. And these holes would be the holes for the bottom of the rail. But we don't need those. So what we're gonna do is take this, flip it, cut it out to match up perfectly inside of there, put it in there and weld what we can. And then of course this won't be as long across the bottom, and might even just kind of tap into the top right here. I think we're just going to leave this for now because this really isn't hurting anything, and you know that's it's already welded in. We know it's supported, all that sort of stuff. But the goal is just to have basically this big flat piece on the top to where we can also put spacers in between, because factory these things have metal spacers that goes from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, just so squeeze together when you tighten them up.
Yeah. So you put a long bolt through, and the bolt comes out of there and then gets put into the K-Member, and then that's what holds it up to the frame. So we're just trying to get this thing somewhat back to how it was from the factory. It's not going to be perfect because of all this rust, but worst case scenario, if we don't, you know, end up doing this correctly, we'll just bite the bullet and front half the car. What do you think?
Yeah, well, no, this is fine.
Yeah,
we're gonna get it.
We'll figure it out.
We've got some pretty good metal here already bent.
Yeah.
We just got to cut the metal to where what we need for the top.
Yep.
and we'll weld it in.
Yeah, we got the right angles already, so we'll know if you know, our stuff's a little bent.
Yeah, we'll just have it in there. Just the hardest part's once we get it all trimmed for what we need in here, then we need to get the round metal spacers, which is just going to be like, you know,
Yep.
pipe.
Almost like a bushing insert.
Yeah, that's going to go in between the lower and the upper that we're putting in, so when we tighten, you know, everything down, it don't squeeze together the frame rail. So, and that way we can unbolt it and take it in and out.
Yep. How's your cutting going over here?
This side here is pretty good. I got the top cut. I just got to come down here and come down here. I want to come on down to here and make it straight.
Oh.
And then we're going to grind all this smooth.
Yep.
And we're going to just kind of re-weld it, you know,
Yeah.
make it look better.
We got some grinding to do on the bottom too, just to straighten things up.
Yeah, a little bit from where we had to do that. But yeah, other than that, it shouldn't be bad. And then this section here, we're going to keep in there. And when we have the flat piece going straight in, we're going to have another piece coming up. So we will weld onto here.
Yep.
That way we won't damage the paint on the inside of the panel.
Yep. That's the goal,
Yeah.
because we don't want to mess this up. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty far away. I mean, that's a good, that plate right here is at least a ½ inch away from the inside.
Yeah, we should
And-
be fine.
Yeah.
Just as long as we take it slow.
Yeah, we'll just, you know, we'll just like do a 1/4 inch of a weld, and then we'll skip down another 1/4 inch, skip down another 1/4 inch, and then come
Yep.
back and fill. That way it doesn't get too hot in one spot.
Yeah.
Kind of like spot welding, but a ½ inch long instead of just a spot weld.
Yep.
And it'll be fine.
Cool.
And then that side, we'll do the same thing. The
Alrighty.
hardest part is just going to be getting that top piece fitted in, and then making it go back up. You know, so we're gonna, that piece that goes down on the inside, the short piece.
Yep.
We're gonna have to cut that off so it's flat, and then we're gonna have to turn it upside down, you know, and use that piece to go up. So it'd been nice to get one already bent like that, but
Yeah, they had what they had.
yeah,
So.
it'll work. I mean, the rest of the frame on this thing is just solid. You know, it's just that section right there. So
Dang Fox Body strut towers.
yeah.
All right.
If it wasn't for the frame rep, the smooth panels,
I know. We
we
just
just do it.
do the whole thing on the inside.
Yeah, but it'll be all right. We'll get it done.
Alrighty. Well, I'll record a little bit more of us grinding and kind of show you some more progress on this. Alright, so this is progress that we got. We got this little bit cut out. We have the entirety. Ow, freaking zip ties got me. We have the entirety of all this cleaned out. We, you know, got as much as we can. We got all the stuff kind of brushed off and vacuumed out of the bottom, all that excess metal, because we're going to be welding right around that circle with like with the kind of bushing insert or the rod insert, whatever we're going to do to have a spacer for the bolt. But got all this cut out, got it all kind of deburred and ready to weld onto, kinda. Still got to do a little bit more cleanup with like some of this body filler stuff, or what is that, frame sealer?
That was actually seam seal.
Seam sealer, okay. Yeah, so we got to get some of that cleaned off, that way we can have a good surface to weld to. And I also cut out this little patch of bad metal under here. So that's nice. And then this side is also all cut out. This one's really ready to weld on. And all cleaned out as well. And then the bottom of this is actually really solid, so we don't have to do anything with that. The only thing that we have to do is deburr or take out some of these little globules here. On this side, not very much. Hit that a little bit, hit that a little bit. And then this is actually part of the K-Member that we cut off If I showed you the K-Member, you'd see this little chunk missing, but it's just welded up to this piece because we couldn't get in there with the cutter. So we just need to get this little thing flat. That way the plate for the K-Member can go all the way across. I actually have a reference for you because Dad was working on this car, which he put a K-Member into. And I could show you how it's supposed to look. Like that. So the bolt's right there, and then we measured from the center of the hole to the edge of the K-Member. It's about 2.5 inches towards the front. And if you notice over here, bolt hole, we don't have 2.5 inches of flat area. So we're gonna have to get that all flattened out, and we'll be done with the cleanup portion of this. And then we need to start doing some folding and bending and welding and all that sort of stuff. But that is probably going to come on another day. We're going to finish this up today and probably call it for the night. All right, so Dad got this thing grinded down about as much as we're going to. I just use the phone camera here. But that is a big difference from where it was. So that's a lot better. We're gonna go ahead and do a plate next time. And I think we're just going to, because we really can't grind this much more or else we'll be kind of taking out that strength in that weld. This is the line where the plate is going to go up to. So we're thinking we'll actually just put kind of a spacer in here, and then the plate will rest here and then along the spacer, and then, you know, we'll have everything on top and it'll crunch down, it'll be fine. And then another thing is that UPR actually offers spacers that are basically supposed to go in between here, exactly what we need to use. And that's going to help us bring the K-Member down, which we'll probably have to do anyway because of hood clearance with the intake setup that I have going on. Yeah. Where is it? Over here? Yeah. I got a lot of stuff stacked on top of each other here. So. Yep, this Wilson manifolds one is a spacer to make sure that these Nitrous Express lines can fit over the Edelbrock fuel rails. And then this is a burst plate, and then there's an elbow that comes up off of this that is about this tall. So there's really going to be a lot of height going on there. Hopefully we can get that straightened out. We were kind of concerned with it not fitting up underneath the hood, but this might also help us. And we actually have the opportunity to do that now because we're replacing it, replacing the factory one that we had with this UPR one. So looking forward to that. But yeah, we got this side all done. We got this side all done. So all the cleanup process is good. Looks a lot better. And then we just need to cut and weld in plates, put the spacers in, and we'll be rolling. But that's going to come at a later time. You guys see my hair, I've been growing it out. Been wearing a hat and all these other clips. But yeah, but that'll come in another clip. We're gonna go ahead and cut this one off and see you in a bit. How's it going, guys? We're back. I'm here the last day before I head back to Colorado, and we're getting some work done on this thing. We're just doing a little bit of fabricating and some welding and stuff. Let me show you the updates that we got so far. So we have both sides ready to be welded in. Dad's actually welding on the other side right now. I'll kind of show you what he's got. But we just need we got our template on this side already kind of made up out of cardboard, and then we have to cut the stuff out of metal. On the other side, let me show you what we got there. We got this little plate that's going in. part of the frame rail piece that we bought, cut up, trimmed in there. So it's fitting on either side. We're gonna put this one in and then put the top part in along with some spacers, and then we'll do the sides, box it in, and then we have to still do that bottom part. Over here, we actually put in a little aluminum plate on the other side just to kind of cover up this hole, so we can actually put some body filler in here and sort of smooth this out and repaint it. I know. Yeah, we don't have the best welding setup right now. We have just this little wire feed welder that we've had for years, and
it's just the metal is so freaking dirty too.
Yeah.
I can't go constantly because it just blow right through it. Because I got it set on minimum, but I don't think it's even working on minimum, honestly.
Yeah.
I got to do it a little bit at a time, or it just wants to blow right through it.
Right there in the center there, it was a pretty good bubble, but then you started trying to do that same pattern and it just started blowing through. So I think now, what are you doing? Just kind of pulling it over to the right instead of doing circles?
Yeah, but I'm only doing like a 1/4 inch at a time because otherwise it just wants to blow through.
Things will be better when we have a better welder.
And it doesn't look bad
right
there if it wasn't for all the popping.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't exactly something that you need to look very good. It's just got to be strong welds, and
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in a couple of those.
Yeah, it'll be reinforced enough. So we're gonna try to fight the frustrations on this thing for a little bit, and we'll be back in just a bit. All right, well, here is the current finished product. I think Dad's gonna run just another bead like right along here, but I mean, he really doesn't need to because this thing's freaking solid. Let me get my other hand in here. Put this little tool in here. That thing ain't moving, man. That's in there, so that's really good. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the spacers in and then figure out the piece that's going to go here, up, and over, and straight across. And we'll get that all cut out, and we're going to actually weld the spacers to the bottom of it, and then just kind of plop it in here. Alright, this back piece is now welded in fully, and I went ahead and kind of placed our spacers in here that we're going to use. Those are actually just bushing inserts. For like a control arm bushing or something like that. And we have two that have a big enough inside diameter on this side, and then we're going to have two other ones that are a little bit shorter for the other side. And the reason that the other side should be shorter is because the other side still has the second layer of metal inside of the frame. So the difference will basically be taken up by this height here. But next step is going to be putting this in here, and I kind of already measured out a little bit. We have these white lines that kind of signify where the holes are, and as you can see, they kind of line up perfectly. I have these spacers basically where the bolts go. Still tons of wiggle room here, and it's just kind of initial mock-up. But you see that black line right there? And that black line right there, that's going to signify the space where this plate needs to go. That way that these spacers can ride right there on the bottom. So it'll go somewhat like that. And then, let's see, let's scooch this over just a hair. And this inner line is where I think that it will end up. But I'm first going to cut on this outer line more towards the X to try to fit it in there. Because you can always take material away, but you can't put it back. This side, that first line is pretty much where I think it's going to end up, but I'm going to cut here on this black line first, and then have this little X cut out for that globule that we're not going to shave down, and then this kind of diagonal line for right there. It's cool what we did. These plates were actually connected, this plate was down here connected to this one, but we cut this one off since that plate was supposed to go on this side, like that. I think I showed you that earlier in the video. You take that, you flip it on over to this side with this side bent down. Now you have the top with the bolts that line up, or bolt holes that line up on this side. So I'm gonna get that trimmed out. Another thing that I have to do is also shorten the distance this way. So I'm gonna have to cut off something here on the right, and I have that measured out on here as well. The this outer mark right here, I believe, I'm gonna double check before I do this, but the outer mark is the width this way, and then the inner mark is the width on this back hole. So I'm going to start trimming this thing down, trying to get it to fit in there. Alright, so we've just been working, haven't really recorded a bunch or done all the progress, but this is what we have going on the other side. And don't judge the welds too much, because I actually started them, and then Dad had to come back and finish them up because they weren't really penetrating. So this is what we got with this shitty welder that we're going to replace here soon. But I'll show you. This is what I have for the other side. We have these kind of bushing inserts that are the spacers for where the bolts go through, and we already have those in here, and they're just kind of spaced through here, as you can see. This one we had to open up a little bit, but no big deal. So yeah, we got this one welded in. At least this piece. We still have the back and the front to box in. See right there? So Dad's just kind of working and cutting out some pieces like you see down here. He's working on some. Mitch is here. He was working on a bunch of wiring on that black T-top car that you all have probably at this point seen the video on.
No.
Well, yeah, you did the intro video for both of them. It's already on the channel, stupid. But yeah, this is what we got for this side. Goes right in there. Bolt holes line up. This is going to be a little weird here. We're just going to have to put different bits of small metal pieces that will weld to this and then weld up to here. Or, well, weld to this and then weld to here. But other than that, these are kind of lined up fairly decently well. Once this is actually bolted, we're going to put the bolts in and then start the weld here on the bottom, knock this corner in and weld around this corner, and then we'll probably do a little bit of weld right here, and then start patching in these other parts. It's going to be a little interesting to get all it back there. So yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, I'm going to be heading out back to Colorado tomorrow morning. So Dad's going to have to finish up here to get the car on the ground, because our goal was to get the engine cradle in, and then we were actually wanting to put the engine in. I don't know if that's really going to happen just yet, but we are going to be getting a set of brakes, and we're going to be putting those onto the front as well. But he's going to have to do all that. Hopefully he'll record some of it. And then that'll be like a part 3 to this video. The first was cutting everything out, second starting this, and then whatever he's gonna do, hopefully. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video off there. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you guys are excited as I am to see this car back in action and seeing the progress and everything like that. Really excited that it's coming along like this and that the repair is being done right, as far as, you know, how much we can do besides cutting the whole front end off and putting a new one on. But yeah, turning out nice. I'm excited to be able to actually bolt the K-Member in and not have to weld it in. That'd be good. And yeah, so that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos on this car. And like the video if you enjoyed. And I will catch you all in another video.